Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Monday, April 27th. Dang, the month's gone. It is over this week, right? Isn't it? We're done this week. Yep. We got 30 or 31 this month.
30.
I don't know. 30. Oh,
Wednesday's the last day, and then we've got May.
Got it. Got my anniversary's in May 3rd.
Woo, so you better get on that. You don't have much time, Frank.
I know. You know what? You're right. I'm glad I brought that up.
I mean, the flux capacitation on that one is kind of small.
I'm gonna just make a note here very quickly. Don't forget anniversary. Oh, wow. How's everybody doing this morning, man? What's going on? What's cooking? We got Rod Cameron here. Right on.
Woo!
Man, oh man, it's gonna be a good day now. Show. Got Rod in the house. Let's see. Jim Sherman, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. You know, you can struggle to find that. I'm gonna sad trombone you just for fun. We're friends, Jim. We're friends. I can do that. It's okay. You know, just for fun. Yeah.
That was fast.
I was quick on that trigger, wasn't I?
You very much so.
Crazy.
All right. Let's see if we can get somebody to respond quickly. Brian Whitfield, come on, man. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Fingers on the trigger.
Doing well, man. How are you doing?
Good, man.
Nice to see
Good. It's been a minute since we chatted.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, you too. Yeah. Things going well, I hope.
It's going great. April's
Yeah?
looking good. May's looking good. Stacking up well. All in all, it's good.
Tell us about May. What do you mean stacking up well? How's it looking? What does that mean?
Yeah, so we've got 10 on the board for May, and then about 5 or 6 on the. I'm sorry, that's for April, and then about 5 or 6 for May.
Nice.
Wow. Nice. Looking good, bro. Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Mostly purchase deals, or you slipping some refis in there?
I'm slipping a few refis in there when I can.
Nice.
But it makes sense.
Outstanding. Hey, Hope Prince is here. Hope, unmute real quick. So Hope's on my team, and she just came on board like 3 weeks ago. And do you have one funding today?
I do have one funding today, our first one.
Congratulations! 3 weeks in, funding a deal. Way to go. Super duper Hope. Good stuff.
Sorry, Frank. I couldn't get my audio to.
Oh, you made it. Jim.
So,
how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. The Red Sox have won 2 in a row, so that's a good thing.
I notice you're in, Fenway apparel there. Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to bring something up. I actually have a lot of Red Sox gear, to tell you the truth. I've been to Fenway a couple of times. My brother got married out there in Boston. My daughter went to college in Boston, so, I got the swag. Yeah. I went
that
to Fenway.
area around Fenway is just amazing.
It's super cool. It's really, really cool. Yeah. The first time I took in a game there, we were doing something else. I forget who I was with, but we pulled up and we were right by the park and we had no idea anything was even going on, but we heard the crowd kind of roaring in the park. And we thought we ought to see if we can get in. And sure enough, we were able to get in. So that was kind of fun. Really, really cool. Fenway's cool. Another interesting story about Fenway. No, is it Fenway? I think it is. Yeah. So if you Google Fenway Bomber, there's a picture of me and Brian Stevens as the Fenway Bombers. Yeah, we weren't the Bombers, but there was a bomb threat at a pub outside of Fenway Park, and they took a picture of the pub, and lo and behold, who's walking out of the pub? For the AP, it's the Associated Press picture of the Fenway Bomber. It was me and Brian Stevens walking out of this pub where there was a bomb threat. So I have that claim to fame.
Goodness. Yeah.
Not even kidding. You look it up. You'll see it. Fenway Bomber, me and Brian Stevens walking out of some pub. All right. Good stuff. Well, look, we got to get going here. I think, huh?
I wanted to tell you, I didn't know if you knew this, but I went to college in Boston. And Jim, I'm with you. I'm a huge Fenway fan.
I've been a Fenway fan my whole life. My dad took me to a game in 1958. Ted Williams hit a home run. It was over for me. I was total addicted. So, have been my whole life.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, hey, let's kind of get moving along here. We're going to bring up our good buddy.
Check the bonds, check the rates. It's Rudy Deaver's Market Update. It's Rudy Deaver's Market Update. Woo!
All right, Rudy Devers. What's going on, man? How'd things end Friday? What's going on this week? Give us a quick update, brother.
We finished up the week. Well, we finished up 5 basis points last week. Nice little report came out last week saying that majority of the buyers that are in the market right now, a large percentage of them are single women that are between 18 and 26.
Really?
Something for us to be paying attention to.
For more than one reason now. Yeah.
Absolutely. ADP weekly reports coming out tomorrow. And big thing that's coming out tomorrow as well is Case Shiller, the appreciation report. I usually use that for my mass text. So something.
What do you say when you say the mass text? What are you going to say about it? Tell us.
Well, I send it out to all my minnows and that kind of stuff, and everybody that's on my list. I think we got like 600 and some people that are on it right now, but I don't have the mass communication program that some of these other folks got. But we just sent it out to about 550, 600 people out there. I was
going to say.
Yeah, 600,000. Can you imagine?
Yeah, about 500,000 people.
It takes all day for it to go through.
Yeah.
So I send that out. People usually like to see that. And also, too, the agents are kind of surprised that, 70% of the agents only closed one deal last year. So wow. I send that out on occasion, too, to remind them that they're not doing as badly as they think they are. So,
yeah, or need to step it up like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the one big thing that I took away last week is that 1 in 5 people do not understand or don't think about buying a home's a good investment. That means
really?
We're not doing our job. That means I'm not doing my job. So
20%.
Yeah, one in 5 don't understand or don't think that buying a home is a good investment for them.
Really?
Yeah. So I guess we all got to get better that they understand that, because they change your life. Generational wealth.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what's going on. Market. We got Warsh is finally looks like he's going to get through his confirmation because the DOJ dropped the criminal investigation. He just handed it over to the inspector general, let him chase him. So that's what they're going to do there. So, but now it looks like there's a clear path for Warsh coming through on his confirmation, which is good news for us. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So where'd we open up today this morning? Where are we at on that?
Right this second, we're minus 2 basis points.
Okay. So flat, pretty much flat.
We're flat.
All right, cool. Well, right on, Rudy. Thank you, man. Appreciate your updating us. That's super appreciative, man. All right, my friends. Well, I think it's time to bring up our guest of honor, and we're going to bring him up, Mr. Jonas Rosenberg, my friend. He's up bright and early today. He's out on the West Coast with me up in Washington State, but believe it or not, he's in the desert of Washington State right now. Isn't that right, Jonas?
Nobody believes that, but yes, sir, I'm sitting in a desert in Washington, a high desert, they call it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's rattlesnakes and 120-degree weather and all that stuff there, huh?
Yes, sir. It typically, I think this morning it's going to get to about 70, but come August, when we get in the dead of the summer, we've been known to get to 115, and the highest I've seen it is 120 here.
Dang.
You just think Seattle and you think like Washington, you think rain, right? Like,
yeah.
You don't think desert.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's pretty cool.
We have 2 offices I travel back and forth from. We have the one outside of Seattle on an island, which is where I spend most of my time. And then we have this one over here in Tri-Cities, Washington, which, believe it or not, is in the middle of a desert.
Interesting. Super interesting. Tell me a little bit more about you. How long have you been in the business, just out of curiosity?
This will be my 11th year. Used to be with Summit Funding, and we just made a switch, but 11 years in the business.
Okay. All right. Very, very cool. And you're in Washington. Have you spent your whole career up in that area as an originator?
Yes, sir.
And just for fun, what possessed you to get into mortgages? I mean, what What did you drink that?
So, long story made short, I came out of the casino business into radio, and I actually was in a BNI group with the radio. Took a quick BNI meeting and had a meeting with a loan officer, and he said two of my favorite things ever. He said, "Jonas, you have the biggest mouth I've ever seen." And I said, "Thank you." And he said, "Quite frankly, you're probably the best salesman I've ever seen." And he said, "I run this mortgage business." And he said, "I need mortgages not to be boring anymore." He said, "I need you to get out in the community and go find leads." And he said, "Would you be interested in joining me?" And the rest was history. We started in year one. I think we did 40 some odd units. And the best we ever did together was in Mortgage Disneyland. We did 418 together, and absolutely amazing. And through a massive transition last year, they actually joined another company. And I started my business by myself after 11 years last year.
If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time. So I didn't realize that. I knew the story of you being on a team and closing over 400 units. I knew that. I didn't realize that was the very first guy or team that you were associated with when you got into the business.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. And so you were with them for, that had to be what, 9-10 years, something like that?
10 years, and the team was built very interesting, Frank. Basically, I was the rainmaker. I went out and I followed everything that Jimmy and the Summit Coaching, which I joined into, told us to do. I walked in, put the ball on the tee, and my business partner hit it out of the park. The team and him took it the rest of the way, and they told me, I can't even spell Optimal Blue, Frank. They told me, "Don't worry about pricing. We'll take care of that. You go back out." So we built it to where I averaged about 100 leads a month, and they went and took care of them from there.
Fascinating. So you were like the biz dev guy. You were out there shaking the trees.
Yes, sir. It's what I've spent my last 11 years doing, and still do it by myself now.
And then what was the focus on shaking this? You guys did 400 units in a year. So like, what was it?
Now,
pretty much.
Mind you, that was during Mortgage Disneyland. So our typical year was about 250 together.
Still, great. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and then was the driving force behind all that just the basically the realtor contacts and meeting people, and what was it?
We focused really heavy on realtor contacts, but the other part that we put into the equation was current client and past client referrals. When we sat down and did our business program, it's kind of like, look, we as loan officers forget that the gold is in the people that are darn happy with us that we got their house.
Sure.
So why not remember to take care of those people? So we set up a program where those folks were getting constant contact from us. And we wanted to remind them that, hey, look, when it comes time to refinance, you're going to get all these flashy things in the mail, all these other things, but don't forget, we're your guys. So we did an amazing amount of refinances when it was time.
Interesting. Good stuff. So let's continue with the guys. You got to hear this story. It's so interesting. So, Jonas is on this team. They're doing well. They've got a great system in place. Jonas is making it rain. The team is getting it closed. In the heyday, 400 units on average, 250, something like that. And then at one point they decide, hey, we're going to go. We want you to go with us. Right. Isn't that the story? They decided. Yeah.
The big company came in and John Tanner, yes, I did. I'm going on my 11th year in BNI. So I'll definitely share that too, because people ask me if it's still worth it. They came in one day and said, Jonas, we're going to head on to Cross Country Mortgage. This was a year and a half ago. And I'll be honest with you, Robin Lavasser and Jim Reed and Todd Screamer, they were all staying behind at Summit. And I looked at my team and I said, guys, my loyalties, this is who got me in. I've been able to be a coach with Jimmy for the last 8 years. I said, I want to stay. And everybody kind of looked at me funny and said, Jonas, are you sure? And I said, I want to stay. So Robin Lavasser called me in the 11th hour and she said, would you like to join us in the Eugene group? And I said, absolutely. So we kept these offices as Summit Funding in Kennewick, and we had to rebuild everything. So we set goals. And my big, hairy, audacious goal is I wanted to make Leaders Club without my team.
And that's in 2025.
That was last year, sir.
Yeah,
And
last year.
And we ended up doing that. We ended up closing for our first year by ourselves, probably about 63. I think it was 63 units for 23 million, but that was year one. And this year, everybody says, "Where are you going now?" And I said, "I want to have 20% growth. I don't want to make massive, big, horrible expectations for 100 or anything crazy like that. If we can do 20% growth, we're absolutely on the right track, and that's exactly where we're at. We are up about 23%."
So when you were on the team, right? The team that left, and you were, the rainmaker, and then they split. So now, you're still the rainmaker, which is great. So you
Yes,
can
sir.
still bring deals in, but now you have, you lost your back end, right? You lost your back end. How did you make that transition, or are you doing it all on your own, or where you
No,
at
sir.
on that?
Robin called me in the 11th hour and she goes, "Jonas, if I can make it to where you can continue to do what you do and we get you some help, would you be interested in staying with us?" And any chance you got to be around Robin Lavasser, my answer, of course, was yes. So I decided to go do that. And she teamed me up with an amazing human being out of Colorado. Her name is Michelle. And we are trying to recreate what we had before.
Okay, good. And so, by the way, her name is Lavasia. That's how you say it. But
I'll tell her that this morning.
but okay, cool, man. So a little speed bump, right? I mean, I titled this on the email that we sent out. Hey, how to overcome speed bumps. A little speed bump. My whole team left. Okay, so let's call that a speed bump, right? Got to start fresh. Got to start new. For somebody going through a speed bump, right now, like you did, something like that, because things happen. Because now you've got the next little could be perceived as a speed bump, the company sale, right? So now you're at cross country, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
had two things. You had the team leave. You're on your own, and now you got a company switch. A couple of speed bumps that can certainly get in the way of production. How'd you get through it? How'd you get it done?
Yeah. To be transparent, I called Jimmy Reed and I said, "I need a little Jimmy Reed in my life because if I don't, I'm going to be emotional for the next 6 months and I'm going to screw this up." And believe me, for those of you who know Jimmy well, I got 100% Jimmy, and it took me about 2 weeks to go, "You know what? You're absolutely right, Jimmy. This isn't going to affect anything. Let's move forward." So, Frank, to be all honest with you, as you'll find out from all of us coaches, we all get coached too. And I needed the unfiltered Jimmy in my life, and he reminded me what was important and what wasn't. And we went on.
So essentially, you leaned on coaching. Essentially,
Yes,
is what happened.
I
So
picked up the
okay.
phone and called and said, "I need some guidance and I need you to tell me exactly what to do." Boy, did he. And we got moving forward. And instead of a 6 month lull, because I am definitely an emotional human being, I could have wallowed in self pity, but I picked up the phone, called Jimmy, and said, "Make me not do that." And he did.
Can you tell us how? What were some of the things he did that helped?
First of all, he reminded me who I am and where I came from.
Mm.
Then we went to just the basics. He told me, "Jonas," he said, "instead of thinking and getting in your head, what made you great?" And I said, "Getting out of the office, Jimmy." I said, going and being, my favorite comments ever is when my former partner came in shaking his head. And I said, "Why are you shaking your head?" He goes, "I got asked again how long I work for you, Jonas." And that was my favorite part of my day is when he got asked that, because he got it asked it about every week. And what that proved to me is Jimmy's right. Better known beats better. If you're any around Jimmy, he says it all the time. I actually
Yeah.
have it up here on my wall because that's exactly the way I built my business. I don't care how good I am at the end. Yes, top of mind awareness. I don't care how good I am at the end. I just want everybody to think about me when they think of mortgage. When I talk in coaching, I reminded them in the late 90s. Somebody was talking about the Michael Jackson movie earlier. There was Michael. It was either Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan. There was Madonna. And when I'm in my town, I want people only to say, "I'm going to hang out with Jonas." I don't need them to know my last name. It's just Jonas. And as long as they're saying that, I know that when they think about mortgage, they're calling me.
So something, and Kristen and Chris and Jen, whoever, I'd love you guys to ask some questions of Jonas too. But the thing that you just said is, I mean, are you physically out of the office? Is that your gig? Are you in the other offices? Are you physically visible to people? Or when you say better to be known, or it's better to be known, what does that mean to you? Like, is it social media stuff? Is it everything? How is it?
My whole goal is we chase realtors, but I looked at my former partner and I said, why not go farther than that? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, Mark, I have an idea. I said, I want to go out and start talking to HR departments. And he goes,
Really?
what? I said, I want to start talking to HR departments. I said, so what I did is I went to the Chamber of Commerce and I got a list of anybody in my town that had 25 or more employees. And I started milk running HR departments. And my whole goal there was, hey guys, could I talk to your employees about home ownership? Well, I came to find out there was over 600 companies in just this small town with more than 25 employees. And I think that number may actually be low. And we started visiting them. And everybody goes, Jonas, you are the first time homebuyer guy and you run these massive classes. My class this weekend had 62 people in it. And they're like, how do you get the bodies? Well, social media is fantastic, but it gets lost amongst everybody else. If you can get out and get belly to belly and shake hands and truly be able to talk to these people and go, hey, I got a great place for you to start. It's called the First Time Homebuyer Class. We run them every month. Would you be interested in that? And oh, by the way, it's free. We've been doing that now for 8 years. When I talk about getting out of the office, we literally get out of the office and go shake hands and kiss babies and get people to know who we are. The interesting fact is, the gentleman said earlier, 1/5 of people do not think that buying homes is a good investment. I wrote that down in my AHA book that's sitting right next to me because I want to be able to use that when I go out in the thing. That's crazy to me that anybody would think buying a home is not a good investment.
Wow. So one quick question, then Kristen, and I'll shut up, and Kristen and Chris, please take over. But
I'll believe that when I see it. I'm just kidding.
I'm swear. Okay,
Me too, Kristen.
So do you call the HR? You figure out who's head of HR, call them, and try and meet with them. Is that what you do?
Yes, sir. We pick up the phone, and our first initial phone call, of course, it's to a gatekeeper, is hello, Sally, it's Jonas over. I'm going to not say something funny. I'm going to say cross country, I promise. Hello, Sally, it's Jonas over at cross country. Would there be a way that I could come over and talk to you guys, or is there a job fair, or is there a place where I could come over and talk to your people about home ownership? Is there an avenue that I could explore? Typically, those folks will tell me exactly what it is, whether it's I could come hang a flyer in the break room, I can come join a job fair, they have XYZ. And some of my biggest contacts have been places like DOC, places like prisons, things that you wouldn't even think of, that I've actually been able to take my first time homebuyer class to. My greatest day in 11 years, I got to teach the first time homebuyer class at a prison here locally. It was fantastic teaching it to the guards, but darn it, when those gates closed, it was a little unnerving.
Yeah. All right, Kristen and Chris, go for it. I know you got some questions or whatever.
Well, actually, I have a quick thing.
Jen, go.
You're on the class on Thursday. Tell us about your schedule over the weekend. You did a pretty cool thing with the draft.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. So we guys on Mondays, when I come in to make my phone calls, my first 5 phone calls are always to fill blank spots on my schedule. So if any of you are in front of your computer, I challenge you to look at your schedule and find 5 blank 1-hour spots. And darn it, have some fun filling them. So my first 5 phone calls, I look at 5 1-hour spots and I'm like, what could we have fun? So what we did is this week, we did an NFL draft party. I had 6 realtors. We also went to the Michael Jackson movie last night. Somebody mentioned that earlier. I had 4 realtors. We took a trip to Spokane, Washington to an 80s arcade Saturday night, which is about 2 hours away from me. I had 3 realtors and their families and their kids go with us. Guys, have fun. Everybody goes, Jonas, when you're filling up your holes, it doesn't sound like you're going to coffee. Oh, no. I want to go to places that these people would want to be because I get to know them. I know I'm going to tell 300 people my secret, but my greatest thing every year is we go to a crazy event called midget wrestling. It is my 9th year of doing this. Last or 2 years ago, we had 85 people with us. It is a night of debauchery and everything else, but everybody's going, Jonas, you go left from the old boring coffee dates. Yes, I do. I want people to get out and be them. I want them in hoodies and jeans and hats and having a great time because we're going to go deeper. And if I can get deeper with folks, they're going to send me their leads.
That's so true.
Just hearing offers, conversations. That it's
Ann Carter, wonderful question, Ann Carter. I just saw it. No, I'm not paying for anybody. Thank you so much for asking that question because everybody says, Jonas, with your events, I've seen you've gone to Metallica. I've seen you. We have a Mariners group next weekend that's going with 75 people. RESPA does not allow us to pay for people. So I was transparent since day one. Hey, guys, I'm just going to be P.T. Barnum. You guys got to pay. And I keep receipts in my drawers just in case anybody ever comes to get to me of, hey, Jonas, you've been paying for people. No, I haven't. Here's every single one of my receipts. So great question, Ann, because people ask me that all the time. Doesn't that cost you an arm and a leg? I refuse to pay. And that's how I teach my students is, please don't pay for these folks. Just put it together. I have had students go to nail appointments. I've had students go to spa days. I've had students go to wine things. It's amazing what you can do and how deep you can go. And don't forget, realtors are wonderful. But guys, please write this down. If you can get their spouses to go with you, oh my gosh. When you start being a friend of the whole family, oh my gosh, the world changes.
Yep.
Wow. Hi, thanks for enjoying Loan Officer Breakfast Club here on YouTube. I just wanted to drop in and remind you that if you're a newer loan officer and you're trying to get to that 2 or 3 deals a month, or if you're seasoned and you're trying to get from 50 to 60 or 60 to 80, Mortgage Marketing Animals has you covered. We've got the full gambit from start to finish, top to bottom. Everything you need is at mortgagemarketinganimals.com. There's a reason that mortgagemarketinganimals.com is the #1 mortgage coaching platform in the country. So check it out, mortgagemarketinganimals.com. So how many students are you coaching right now? Just out of
Right
curiosity.
now I have 2 groups. I believe we have 9 students and they're from companies all over the country.
Okay. And then you get coached still too.
Yes, sir. And Frank, if you had to ask me what my greatest honor is behind me, you can see the little green things in coaching. And if my student would have showed up, I was going to shock him because I was going to tell him that he won my coaching award. In coaching, we get these coaching awards. They're silly little stuffed animals. They've ranged from Yetis to dragons to now wolves. And I am very honored to say my first day in coaching, I called Todd Screama, probably the greatest mentor I've ever had. And I said, sir, what do I need to do? I said, please tell me what to maximize coaching. And he said, Jonas, go win those awards. And I said, why? And he goes, it seems to me if you have a millionaire that is sitting there that has climbed the mountain that wants to help you go up the mountain, he said, do exactly what they say. He said, why not? What's going to there? And everybody says, Jonas, why do you love those awards so much? I said, because I did it. I just took it all in. I wrote everything down. The gentleman this morning, when he said 1-5, I make notes in my AHA book. And when I get stuck, I just go back into all the things that the wonderful people told me, and I get unstuck real quick.
Jonas,
Wow.
if you had one piece of advice for someone, getting started or been in the business forever, what would it be? What would you do?
Jen, I just said it, and I'll say it again. Keep a book. People like Frank, the gentleman this morning that said what he said, I literally go to these seminars with my book in the hand. It's called an AHA book. And anytime I find something incredible, I write it down. We forget, I'm going to say about 80% of the stuff that we pay all this money for. I think I'm going to a seminar next week. It's going to cost me about $1,500. I better write the things down that I love. And when you get stuck, dummy, go back to your book. It's all right here. And my wife, every time I'm home and frustrated, my wife goes, Jonas, go pick up your books. Well, she's absolutely right. I keep telling people to do that.
Awesome, man. Just so
Rudy,
awesome.
I never got one of those blue dragon stuffed animals. I wanted it really bad, but I didn't stay in that group long enough.
If you got it, show it to us, Rudy. But awesome.
Not
Well,
here. It's in a very safe place.
got it. Yeah, of
I'd
course.
have it there too, my
Cherished.
friend.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh man, Kristen, Jen,
Yeah.
if we're at the top of the hour here, if you guys are interested in learning more about Jonas, his team, that kind of thing, if you want to explore maybe coaching in some capacity, what's the link? MMAnextlevel.com.
Yes, sorry. Had to sneeze to sync up on me. Yes, MMAnextlevel.com. We can walk through it. Jonas is one of our coaches in the Alliance coaching groups. And I just love that, Jonas, like when you're telling your story, and it's interesting to me too, because I think sometimes it's easy to look at somebody's production and think it's all sunshine and rainbows and roses, right? But Brandon was talking on Thursday, if you were here, about his story. You know, Jonas kind of sharing the blows that came up on him out of nowhere. Nobody's immune to different things cropping up, like you said, Frank, challenges, speed bumps, roadblocks, whatever you want to call them. But just figuring out, getting around people who can help you figure out, like, what do I do next?
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
A huge thing.
Amazing. Congratulations, man. Jonas, thanks for just being here. Everybody picked up a bunch from you.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, I love the fact that team, I love the fact he's so visible, right? I love the fact he's just being known. Everybody knows him. They know he's this mortgage guy. And the HR thing, brilliant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. How many HRs have you, I'm going to use Kristen's favorite word, penetrated?
Oh, God, Frank.
Here's the funny thing. Probably only under 15.
That's a lot.
Everybody's going, Jonas, you make all these phone calls. Well, Carl was absolutely right, and I rewrote his thing down. You got to chase the no's.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been told no and no thank you and no more often, and I should have quit many years ago. I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment. Seems to me if I can get into one and get into a job fair, oh my gosh. And once again, guys, I don't want to take up your time, but the greatest gift you can give a realtor is a referral. That's why we spend so many times chasing these job fairs, because if I can call and pick up a realtor, oh my gosh.
Awesome stuff, man. So awesome. Everybody, Jonas Rosenberg, thank you, man, so much. Super appreciate you being here. He'll be back again. We'll make him come back, whether he likes it or not, but I think he'll come back. I think he'll come back and grace us again. So good stuff, man. Super appreciate you, brother. Thank you. And
Thank you.
You bet. Guys, tomorrow, kind of a special treat. Kevin Bilberry's going to be on tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
He is finally, Chris, he's done it. He's literally done it. It is the ultimate loan officer FSBO platform is going to be unveiled tomorrow here on Breakfast Club. If you thought if there was only a way to get in with the FSBOs and get all the buyer leads that come through, it's here. It's happened. It's done. And it's amazing. Kevin Bilberry is going to show it off tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be kind of a different thing on Breakfast Club, but it's going to be very, very cool. I can't even believe what he's put together. It's just like, dude, it's incredible. Imagine that, just being able to not only reach a FSBO seller with a marketing piece that says, hey, you want this AI to answer all those calls and answer screen everything for you, so you don't have to go through all that and then pick up all the real leads. And yeah, really? Oh, you want it to not cost you anything? No problem. Here you go. Right? Super cool. Very, very cool.
Wow.
So that's going to be tomorrow. All right. Anything else before we go? Jonas,
Jen, tell everybody what you're doing on Dialed In with Meg and
Dialed
Jen.
In with Meg and Jen today. So we were super excited. Kelly Collins last week shared with us that she had 39 appointments in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And so she is sharing with us the presentation she puts together for that. And another special guest, you may have heard of him, Carl White, will be joining us.
I know
to
that
kind
guy.
of go over that stuff too. So, dudes, if you're around 2:00 today, for the membership, Dialed In with Meg and Jen, you can register for that on the classes section of the website. Thanks, Kristen. I forgot about that.
Cool stuff. Chris Johnstone, anything from you before we get out?
No, I mean, come on. How do you top that? Like
You
2
can't.
o'clock
I know.
this afternoon. absolutely should be there. We are going to send out an email, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until tomorrow to send the email out about the recording for the masterclass that we did last week. AI launch party, because man, we had a ton of fun. Gave away a new script book and all that stuff. So Jonas, quick tip for you maybe. I don't know if this helps or not, but you can actually go through your notebook, and I've done this. So the notebook that you keep with you, I do the same thing. I keep my notebook. But what I've started doing is taking pictures of my notes and feeding them into my AI. And then if I'm looking for a tip that I've written down about a specific topic, rather than going through all of the pages in my notes, I can just ask my AI and it'll actually like give me that tip and then build on it and give me like resources and stuff that relate to it. So feeding all those notes into AI can be a game changer.
I would love to find you, sir. I'd love to figure out how to do that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, there's a port that they put in your brain. And then you plug in a mini USB and then into the computer. Yeah, that's what happens. It's a little painful, but little volume goes away quick. All right. Well, great stuff, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Super appreciate you all. We will be back here tomorrow. We're going to see the ultimate LO FISBO platform. It's going to be super cool. And then we've got more coming up this week. It's going to be a great week, man. Super, super good. You guys have a great one, man. We'll catch up with you later. Adios.
Have a great day, everybody.